हरीश आइए क्लैप करें. Just one clap as loud as you can. One more. That's a clap. You know the reason? अरे मैं फिल्म रिकॉर्ड करने को अरे स्लेट टेक केला मैं क्या लगा You are the slate. Okay, so today we are not discussing any new topic because I think because new thing is we need to start with the Kafka and Kubernetes. So since these are continuation sessions, I don't want to like kind of a stop and then get the maybe a break and then start. There was a super confusion even when I'm seeing like the question I'm getting after that I upload that AWS video. The confusion between how you can decide whether you should use the security group or NACL, right? So why we have these two? Which one is to use when? Right? So that is a little bit confusion people going through. So to understand this, we need to clearly get an idea how firewall works, right? To get the idea of how firewall works, you need to have an idea how this OSI model works, okay? So since we already went through that, I know you guys can tell about the OSI model, which one, which layer doing what, right? Right. First layer, physical. Second layer, data link. Third, fourth, right? So this is how the OSI model works. So that means anything we use on the something follow this OSI model, we are going through this one, right? We went detail about this and about the TCP. So I'm not going to go in detail, right? Remember we use a metaphor like you have a road and then you are going to vehicle, then you are transporting things to Bandara, right? So now, see my memory, right? So now what is the firewall doing? So you have something here, right? So you have something here. Then you have some user or someone from other side trying to communicate. And then you are using something in between to filter these data. That is how the firewall works. Okay? So one way or the other, NACLs and the security groups work in the same way, right? So what is the main difference? Where the NACL attached? NACL attached to subnet, right? NACL attached to subnet, security group attached to host or the EC2 instance or whatever, right? So now when you have a NACL, you can have a filtering, you can put the inbound and outbound rules. For the security group also, you can put inbound and outbound rules. Okay. Now, how this works is, let's assume this is the NACL, right? And then I'm going to have a other firewall, right? So let's say this is the EC2 instance, right? I'm going to have other firewall saying this is the security group. Okay, that's the NACL, this is security group. So when the person comes and hit to this one, the NACL, it going through the inbound rules. But only thing is, NACL doesn't see about the session. NACL sees source address, destination address, and the ports. That's it. Right? NACL make the decision based on this. Okay. Let's say this guy who's inside is listening on a 3306 port. Okay. Now 3306 belongs to what? Yeah, the database. So now the misunderstanding start here. User's laptop or something making a JDBC or some sort of ODBC or some sort of a connection, SQL connection to here. So you are thinking, okay, so now let's say something like this. Okay, so let's say something like this. Now we are in two adjacent houses, right? Right? So there is no firewall or anything in between. We are in two adjacent houses, right? So now I want to, there are one person here, one person here. If these walls are fully sealed in both the houses, then we can communicate with each other. Why we don't see? The sound doesn't go through, right? So now I want to talk to him, okay? So now he make a window here. Can I talk now? No, why? I also need something, the opening. Can we talk now? Yes. Right? If either side window is closed, we cannot communicate. That is how the port works. You have to have a port to go through, and then you have to have a port to come back, right? So they both sides need to have it. So now if we go back to the same example, this guy talk to the database on the 3306 doesn't mean he is coming from the 3306. Okay? Right? That doesn't mean that. So for example, this one may be a window and this one may be a door. Okay? We don't know. So it's not necessary they have to communicate through the same port. So most of the time what happens is this guy making the connection to this side, the target port is always fixed, right? So they are using something called ephemeral port, right? That falling between usually 1024 to 65,535. Okay? Now, what is the source port? What is the source port? Let's say 220. That's a source port. Now, what is the target port? 3306. So now, you need to put a rule here. Anyone coming from whatever the IP address you want to give, hitting to the 3306 allowed. Right? So you are saying, if source is, let's say for now, anyone, right? We understand this is anyone, okay? Or if you want, you can block to something like this. So then any IP address start with a 10, right? So S port is range between 1024 to 65,035, and destination IP something, let's say 10.0.81.5, destination port 3306. Let's say this is allowed. Forget about this NACL. I'm saying generic firewall. We need to tell that. Okay? For example, when the visitors come to see me, right, I tell to the gate, if someone coming from this, let's say someone coming from Dialog, someone coming from Army, someone coming from Mobitel, to meet me, let that person to come, right? So now someone come to the gate and asking, hey, I want to meet Krish, and asking, where you from, right? So now they are saying something different. They are saying, I'm from Kiels. They don't allow to come. Why? I didn't whitelist. I list either Dialog, either Army, or either Mobitel. Those three parties, right? So now others won't come. But if one of them, someone come and say, I'm from Dialog, then they are allowed to come. So that is how this works, right? So now, if the firewall is stateless, right? Stateless mean firewall don't remember who came in, right? Firewall don't remember it. So now I need to, this is inbound, I need to explicitly whitelist the outbound. How I whitelist the outbound? What is the source port? Huh? What is the destination port? We don't know. This is something in this ephemeral range. Okay? So, stateless firewalls always and always treating every packet it's going through as a single visitor. So, it's trying to match the rules. That's how NACL works. Just because your queue came in, you don't get the explicit pass to go out. Okay? Remember? Why? Because they only see up to here. They don't have a memory. It's like you are using the security guard, security officer, right? Deaf and blind, right? So they check your ID, they read through the braille. Okay, you can go in. So when you want to go out, to open the gate, you need to show the ID back. So they touch it and see, because otherwise they can't see that, okay, they cannot distinguish it. Right? So whereas how this guy works is, it doesn't just limited to this, it's a stateful firewall. So that means if you come in, you can go out. But if you, let's say this is security group. So now this traffic is whitelisted from here. This is done. So now comes in. So this is done. It comes back. Okay. So now when you go back, you don't have explicit paths from here. Okay. You don't need it. But here, you need to have explicit paths to go out. Otherwise, packet is dropping here. This guy says, okay. Let's stop there. Okay? So now, but that being said, if someone's initiating the traffic from here to this side, you need explicit outbound rule. Okay? So if you didn't come in the morning, they are not allowing you to go out. Then you have to show the ID. Got it? Let's say when you put the vehicle in, they keep your number, right? So when you go out, they check the number. Okay, this came in the morning, so they explicitly allow you to go, right? You come here and you change the number plate. So when you try to go out, you cannot go, right? Why you cannot go? Because there is no inbound connection. This is the difference between NACLs and the security groups. Actually, this is not a difference between NACLs and security group. This is how stateless and stateful firewall works. Okay? Because most of the confusion was why we need both. Right? Why we need both is we detailed discussed in the last session, saying if you want to put a very narrowed service, like one is a SQL server, other one is a document MongoDB, and other one is MS SQL. So different port you can restrict into the using the security groups, but you allow all those to come in. Got it? Any questions? So I found a little bit old one. Yeah. No. Any it is not for the request response model. For any traffic, network traffic, there is a inbound traffic and there is outbound traffic, right? So if you're starting from here, it's a request. So it doesn't mean like you may have fire and forgets, okay? Like something like a UDP where you don't get the ACK and you don't interest whether it's delivered or not, right? So you know what's the difference between UDP and TCP? We discussed, right? So TCP is something you send a mail in the registered post. You go and you deliver it and you take the signature and you coming back and give the receipt, right? But UDP is something like you airdrop in the parcel, right? You like, okay, this parcel is to this guy and drop it, but you don't know whether they have taken it or not. Okay? So this is not for the request response model. Any network traffic, these firewalls is subjective. So this is what I explained before. So you have the security group, right? It's two security group for app server and the MySQL server, and then you have a NACL boundary, right? And I don't remember this slide. This is very old. So this is how inbound rule works, right? You can put the outbound all traffic allowed, right? Security group wise. But if it is the network layer, the NACL wise, say you need to tell if the port is 1024 to 65,535, destination is explicitly you need to put allow. But here you can say all allow, right? But this one you have to say explicitly which one to allow, right? So ephemeral ports are required because we don't know what the source port the client would use. And because especially if you are in the multiple people in the under the same route or something, they can have a same phone. Okay, I will share this slide. So this has a little detailed explanation how these rules works.